Ms. Finkelstein, your next witness is?
Gathright.
All right, Mr. Gathright, please stand up and raise your right hand.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is possibly the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, have a seat and you may continue.
Thank you, Your Honor.
We is all looking like, you finna get on the stand? We was all looking like this damn demon right here. But I guess the stand will do. Because he decided to tell a story, and did he try?
Gathright, SEANGATHRIGHT. I was born on October 20th, 2005.
Mr. Gathright, you've heard people speak here today on your behalf and yesterday, and I know that you wanted to address the court and the jury. So I would like to ask you what you want the jury to know.
I just want to address the court today, and, I'm not here to dispute anything. I'm just here to be a man and take responsibility and express my feelings about this whole situation. That's what I plan on doing.
Okay. And how do you feel? What?
I feel very remorseful. This is a terrible situation. It's been a traumatic experience.
Let me ask you this. So, how old were you when you were arrested?
I was 18 years old.
We heard that you had started some college. Obviously, probably didn't get very far, right?
Right.
What have you done since you've been in jail? Is there programs? Are there things that you can do there?
So, I've gotten into programs. I've also, I grew up, in church and, in a Christian household. So I refocused my, life to Christ, and, I've taken a lot of religious programs. I've read the Bible from cover to cover. I've tried to, share some word, and, we have prayer circles in the jail and stuff like that. I've led a couple, prayer circles, and I've tried to, kids around my age or, younger, since I'm 20 years old, now that when you turn 18, you go to the adult pods and stuff like that. So if I see somebody who I see, has a lot of potential and has a chance to keep them from, basically being able to be corrected at this opportunity and not come back, I try to take them under my wing. As you see, I have a lot of resources and a lot of family that love me, and they've even, asked me, like, hey, is there anybody in there who doesn't have somebody like that, who, could we send them some money, like, anything like that. So I've tried to, be a vessel for God to pour over my blessings into those around me.
We heard from Mr. Bonosca, who said that, in prison that there is opportunities at times to be a mentor or do orientations and peer-to-peer things like that. Is that something that you'd be interested in doing?
Of course, I definitely want to, try my absolute best to course correct anybody from falling down a path that they don't have to take, especially the youth. I feel like that's my calling that God has put on my heart to, be a mentor to the youth and be a positive influence in this world.
In my mind, I'm thinking back to him being in prison and being assisted. Somebody just walking up on him and going, "Excuse me, sister, your bloomers are showing."
Sister, your bloomers are showing. They aren't showing, baby, they're flying. Proudly.
If you ever wish payday came sooner, this might actually help. There's a banking app called Current with a bunch of useful features. And one of the main ones lets you access up to $750 of your paychecks early. If you switch your payroll over with Current, you get a full set of features like paycheck advance, fee-free overdraft, and the build card and more. There's everything in one app. I actually like that myself, which is why I partner with them. And right now, they're giving $75 to anyone who signs up using my link or scans the QR code on the screen. If you scan the QR code, it'll take you straight to the sign-up page where you can create your own account. Just go through the normal sign-up steps, enter information, order your card. After you complete those steps, you'll see the option pop up to enter my promo code, which unlocks the $75 bonus when you switch your direct deposit. So make sure you go through the full sign-up process so you don't miss it. If you ever feel like managing money is stressful and tight sometimes, it's definitely worth checking out because that's literally what it's designed for.
I take it you are body, girl.
But enough of that bullshit. The state just decided to eviscerate, destroy, and bring it all about because at the end of the day, Youngin is full of shit. Full of shit. Listen to this because he tries to dictate how things are going to go. And I'm going to tell you, your lawyer sucks. She should have told you to do this. I'll reveal what it is because his lawyer obviously didn't.
You would agree with me that Charles Jones was young too, wasn't he?
Relatively young, yes, sir.
26, right?
Yes, sir.
That's what the evidence showed us, correct? You were sitting here watching that, correct? The evidence that came in over the last several weeks?
I was right there.
Yeah. And you want to take accountability now, correct? You want to take accountability now that this jury has found you guilty, correct?
Yes, sir.
Weeks after we went through a trial. Is that your testimony?
I'm going to sustain the objection.
You indicated this was a traumatic experience. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
That's what you just testified to, correct?
That's what I said.
We just have one moment, Your Honor. I'm trying to get the all know.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Stage 25C. You remember Gino Norris?
Yes, sir.
You remember him? He was also really young when this happened, wasn't he?
I didn't know how old he was.
Early 20s, 22. Would that surprise you?
No, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. Gino Norris, who's not a gang member, who's Charles Jones' friend from the time they're children. 25C, Gino Norris. And you saw the autopsy photos of Charles Jones. My question to you is, after you and your friends inflicted that carnage on June 23rd, and as you were running States 59C, this is actually you running to shoot them, but when you were running back past that Tesla, were you feeling a lot of trauma at that point?
It was so long ago, I try to not remember anything from that night.
Were you remorseful as you were running back with that AR-15 in your hands?
Like I said, I try to remember nothing from that night.
Was it traumatic to you as you went back to the car with that AR-15? Was it still smoking? Was it still warm in your hands from firing it?
Sustain the objection.
Were you feeling remorse as you were getting back into the Impala?
Like I said, I just try to focus on today and moving forward.
So the next day, that Impala, that was your car. You drove that around, right? It was your mom's, but you drove that car, correct?
Yes, sir. It was my mother's car.
Right. And that was the car you drove from Jacksonville to Tampa in, correct?
I'm going to object beyond stuff.
I'm working to a point, Your Honor.
Okay, why don't we just get there?
All right. So this car, this Impala that you drove from Jacksonville to Tampa in with Mr. Chance and Miss Andrews, the one that you drove in tandem with the Silver Cruise, the same car that you utilized to drive the assault team, the shooting team, which you were a part of that night, that same car that you drove around Tampa in the early morning hours for several hours, tracking, stalking, and hunting Charles Jones and his entourage.
Sustain.
That same Impala, you drove that to Polk County the next day, and you dropped it at your grandmother's house, right? The same grandmother who came in here last night and testified for you, correct?
Overruled. Go ahead. You can answer that question.
Isn't that correct?
What is the question?
You dropped the Impala, the one that had all of these shooters in it, the one that was utilized in this murder, that was such a vital cog in this plan. You dropped it at your grandmother's house in Auburndale, didn't you?
I'm here to testify about today.
Are you going to answer that question, or are you going to avoid it? Because that's not what I asked what you were doing here today. I think we all understand what you're here to do today, what you're testifying about.
We've all
I'm asking you specifically about your remorse. Were you remorseful when you dropped that car off and left it at your grandmother's house in Auburndale?
I did go to my grandmother's house.
Were you feeling remorse when you hugged her and got into the 4Runner and left her with the Impala after you wiped it down?
Sir, I'm just telling you that today I would like to express my remorse to the
I
family and to
understand.
the
I
court.
understand what you're trying to do today. I'm asking you, since you're trying to convince this jury that you're remorseful, were you feeling remorse that next day or later that day?
I don't remember these days in detail, how I was feeling, what I was thinking.
What about later that night when you went to Orlando? Were you feeling remorse when you were out partying at Club Parlay, celebrating what you had done that day?
That was my sister's birthday party.
What did you feel any remorse while you were drinking Don Julio tequila and putting that in your video and throwing gang signs?
I'm here
Did you
to
feel remorse
testify
then?
about today, sir. We've all seen the evidence. We've all reviewed everything.
Mr. Chance, it's not time for you now to make speeches. You've politely answered your counsel's questions. Can you not answer the state's questions? Is there something about my question you don't understand?
I was getting to
I'm
it.
sorry, Mr. Gathright. I called you Mr. Chance. Excuse me.
I was getting to my answer.
Damn, Nash, you made us wait 5 minutes to get to what he should have did. He should have said, sir, at that moment, I was not the person that I am today. The man that sits here before you today is a man who read the Bible from front to back, who understands the words and the impact and the meaning. That person that you seen was not me. So yes, but the freaking state is worried and destroying his damn appeal. See, Sean Gathright think he's smart when he's really stupid, because watch how they get rid of his ability to try to get an appeal on a decision that was made by the judge.
Like I said, I've seen all the evidence.
Well, we've all seen all the evidence,
Yes,
right?
sir. That's true.
And after all that evidence came in, and this jury based their true verdict on that, convicting you, now you're taking accountability?
I'm
Is
gonna
that correct?
sustain the objection. I think the question on the table was remorse about an Orlando.
It is, Your Honor.
You just need to answer that question.
So I'm going to ask you very specifically, okay? So try to focus with a laser beam here, Mr. Gathright. Were you feeling remorse when you were in Club Parlay in Orlando drinking Don Julio? Were you feeling remorse for what you did earlier that day?
I don't remember how I was feeling or what I was thinking.
Were you feeling remorse when you got pulled over in the Forerunner a couple of days later by the police?
I don't remember. I was nervous. I mean, I had never been involved in any
Were you
police
feeling
matter.
remorse when you were unloading the Impala and putting all of that evidence into the Forerunner? Did you feel remorse?
Sir, I told you I don't remember how I was feeling or what I was thinking in those days.
Mr. Gathright, you have led, you would agree with me, an extremely privileged life, haven't you?
Yes, sir.
You would agree with that, correct?
I would.
You've had a loving mother, correct?
Yes, sir.
A loving sister, correct?
Yes, sir.
You've had 2 wonderful grandmothers, correct?
Yes, sir.
You would agree with me, right?
I couldn't deny that.
One of which, probably, I'm assuming, sacrificed and paid for you to go to that private school, that preparatory school, correct?
It wasn't paid. It was a magnet program, so I had to apply, and it was a lottery system.
It was a lottery system. Okay, so it was a magnet.
Yes, sir.
All right. She supported you going there, did she not?
Everybody did.
Gave you open use of her house, welcomed you, treated you, and parented you, basically, didn't she?
Yes, sr.
Took care of you when your parents were deployed, correct?
Yes, sir. At the time, I was living with my grandmother. Both of my parents had been either retired or out of the military. I was just living there more so. I needed a change of scenery, and my relationship with my father wasn't sustainable.
Okay. This is when you're in Oxford with your grandmother.
Yes, sir.
The nice lady we saw earlier came in here.
Yes, sir.
The one that has supported you and spoke so lovingly about you, correct?
Yes, sir.
And so you went to this preparatory school, and whether you got in there through a lottery or not, you would agree with me, not everybody gets to go to a school like that, correct?
The lottery school, the magnet school I went to was in middle school when I was living in Jacksonville. The school I went to in Oxford, it was just a public high school.
A public high school.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
my mistake. So you went to that preparatory school in Jacksonville.
Yes, sir.
But again, that school was not something that every kid gets to go to, right?
No, sir.
Not every kid gets to have a counselor and a role model like Mr. Edwards, correct?
No, sir. I was very blessed.
And not many children get to fly in planes with their stepfather, correct?
No, sir.
And fly around in Asia and get to see islands off the coast of Okinawa, correct?
No, sir. I was
And go on
very
camp-
blessed.
You are very blessed, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
And not every kid gets to go to Scotland, right?
No, sir.
Or Ireland,
No, sir.
or Paris,
No, sir.
or London,
No, sir.
or Spain.
No, sir.
Cape Town or Johannesburg, or both in South Africa?
Cape Town.
Cape Town, beautiful city, right? You got to go experience that when you were growing up, correct?
I did.
Because you had such loving people around you supporting you, correct?
Yes, sir.
In fact, your grandmother went with you on that trip, did she not? Or not on that one, but on the ones to
Several
Europe,
trips,
correct?
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And we heard you got to meet up with your sister in one of those trips, correct?
I did. I had the privilege.
So you always had someone there taking care of you, and you always had good, strong male role models, including people at your grandmother's church and your stepfather, Mr. Harrington, correct?
I had male role models in my life growing up, but in my more formative years, more so 16 to 18, I didn't. I did not have a relationship with my father, and the male role models that came and testified, they were present but not intimately as whenever I was younger, maybe middle school years. But when I turned around 16 to 18, it was the females that actually had that caregiving and nurturing relationship with me. But
Thank you for clarifying that. I appreciate it.
yes,
So,
sir. Towards the more recent years, I didn't have that one-on-one and very close relationship with those male role models in my life. You heard my stepfather say after the divorce.
I did hear that, Mr. Chance. Let me stop you,
Mr.
okay, and
Gathright.
we'll go back to my question. I'm sorry?
Mr. Gathright.
I'm sorry. I keep calling you that, Mr. Gathright. Let me go back to what you said earlier. Between 16 and 18, you didn't have a male role model? Is that what you're telling the jury?
I'm not saying I didn't have any male role models, but day to day, young men need strong.
That's not what I
influence.
asked. I asked if you had a male role model between 16 and 18.
I had a figure that I could go to, but not intimately.
Mr. Edwards, right?
Yes, sir.
He had stayed in contact with you even when you graduated into high school, correct?
Yes, sir. We definitely maintained a relationship, but
And he
it
seemed
wasn't.
to be pretty enthusiastic about that, right?
Yes, sir.
In
Yes,
fact,
sir.
you went on a cruise with him at some point, did you not?
Yeah, when I was younger, yes. We had
Okay.
a very close relationship.
And then from what you're saying, if I understand it right, the females, I'm assuming you're talking about your grandmothers and your mom, stepped into the gap?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It was grandmother's, mother's, sister. Those
So
my- those
let
my
me
parents.
see if I got this right. When you were being brought up, and you were being brought up by a mother who was enlisted or an officer in the military, an officer, wasn't she?
I don't know exactly what her rank is. I know she was a sergeant.
But in the Marine Corps.
Yes, sir. She was in the Marine Corps.
All right. And then you had a stepfather who was in the Air Force, right?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was.
From the time you were 3 all the way up to when they divorced in 2020.
Yes, sir.
All right. They taught you right from wrong, correct?
Yes, sir.
And we
Of
heard that
course.
from your
Yes, sir.
grandmother,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes. Of course. Yes, sir.
Miss Lyle, she told us the same thing.
Right.
They brought you up in the church. They taught you about the 10 Commandments. They taught you about right from wrong, did they not?
They did.
All right. And they were excellent role models about living your life in a disciplined, honest, and right way, correct? And being law-abiding, correct?
They really didn't have to worry about me.
Well, let me just answer my question. Would you agree with what I'm telling you? That they were excellent role models of
Yeah.
how to live a moral life?
Yes, sir. They definitely instilled the foundation.
May I have one moment, Your Honor?
The thing ultimately is this. You knew what you was doing. You wanted to be gangster. You shot Julio Foolio in the foot or helped assist in him being shot in the foot and then shot him your damn self. So, nah, bruh, if you want to, and this is something that I have to say, bruh, because I was talking to one of Foolio's people and she's a Christian and all this stuff and everything, and we were having a decent conversation. And what I said, and I had to find it a little bit, is I had to say, what I did say is, you knew what the consequences were. You tried to beat the case. Your ass ain't plead guilty. You took a chance and lost. You could have worked out a deal where you didn't get the death penalty. So go away. If your heart was pure, God would embrace you. I would have to stay X amount. It's what is right to me because you don't understand what's going on here. You shot the man in the foot. You basically some bullets to kill him. You assisted in shooting and you knew what you were doing. What you're trying to do is quote unquote accept your fate or reject your fate, bruh. So it's like, I get it. But I look at your sister crying and I go, you still did it anyways.
Looks like he's reading to a baby that probably isn't old enough to carry yet, huh?
Yeah. Aw.
How would he help you with your baby?
Like, if I needed to take a shower or, like, get something to eat, he would just hold them for me and just let me do what I had to do, and I would come back whenever I was finished.
You know, you said that you've always been with your brother since, you know, he was born, and you guys moved around a lot together.
Yes.
How's it been without having him around to help you?
It's been hard. Being a mom, I don't really think about it as much as I know I feel it, just because I'm always doing something to take care of the kids. But, like, when I sit back and I really think about what's going on,
Okay.
I just miss my brother.
Will you, do you still maintain a relationship today?
Mm-hmm.
You're able to talk to him and communicate?
Yep.
And will you continue to do that?
Of course.
See, accept your fate and take a trip. Sean Gathright's people need to hear this. And no disrespect to his sister or anything like that. But here's the vessel that you are now for God. You are a warning to the kids who aren't gang members, who are influenced by gangs. This is a very high-profile case. See, you're going to be an example of all the right things, all the right stuff, all the right people, and still wanted to be influenced by the idiots and the morons. So, in the words of Young Thug,
we in this courtroom, man, head up, chin up, fuck that, nigga. If we go to prison for the rest of our life, whoop-de-doo. We go to prison.
whoop-de-doo. I don't feel no remorse for him. You knew right from wrong. You knew the Bible. You knew all of this shit. You just thought you could escape the consequences. If you were truly remorseful, should have signed a plea deal and got your ass up out of there. But instead, you just put yourself down a rabbit hole further. Because when that man sat up there and asked you these things, you try to redirect like you were trying to be smart. You looked terrible. Now, 20 years old, I get it. But it is what it is. Click right here to see how Blueface busts down Tatiana and his girlfriend, baby mama. I don't know what the hell Krishan Rock is. She's practicing forgiveness in less than 4 days since the damn interview drop. Or really 6 days. But click right here for that video. Or click right here for the playlist. Nah, catch you on the next one.